Wow. Halloween episode.
Halloween series. This is a 3-day special.
A special guest from Australia. That's why it's so
All the way
dark here. Where I'm at.
All the way. Hey guys.
Wait,
How's it going? How's
Good,
life? Why
good.
don't you let the world know who you are, what you do, and
Yeah.
why is it scary?
So I'm Sofia Abdullah, and I'm an embalmer. So basically, I care for the dead. That's my full-time job.
Is it,
So yeah,
Is it
embalming.
scary? Is it scary?
It's scary. Is it scary? No. Well, not for me, because I've been doing it for a few years and it's very close to my heart. But
Okay.
I guess for the general public, it'll be very confronting. I
I
mean,
mean,
it's not pretty at all.
dealing with dead
Well, I'm done
bodies
with
is like something I'm bound to do, being in what I do. But
You
like I
will.
still,
What do you do, Ali? You're a
when
gangster?
we use cadavers in med school,
I mean,
dude.
you use
Like
cadavers, don't
I see.
you?
people
So a
donate
cad-
their bodies, and we have to like cut them
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and they're most of the time they've been like embalmed, so
I
they've
see.
been preserved with formaldehyde.
Okay.
Pretty
Uh,
much, and that
Perfect.
shit stinks like ass cancer.
does.
That's
I
so
know.
bad. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I'm pretty sure I've got like asthma from it now. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
All right.
so bad, yeah.
Well,
but it's the only thing we have.
Let's jump
but-
right into it. Tell us what
Yeah,
happens
let's do it.
after we die.
Yeah,
Okay,
what-
so you die, you come to me, you end up on my table. Your family will do an arrangement with the funeral director, and they'll let us know what we need to do. So
Interesting.
basically, so embalming is like the art and science of preserving a human body. So our goal is to delay the decomposition process. So we do that. We inject through the arterial system. We inject like a formaldehyde solution, and we drain your blood. And then that penetrates through the circulatory system, goes through your muscles, preserves your muscles, the tissues, the organs, etc. And then you have an embalmed, beautiful body that's visually pleasing.
Wait, so
But
you do
Makes it
beautiful is a
pleasant
good
for you.
word.
beautiful is a good word.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
because-
we make, yeah.
You actually like you prepare the bodies. Like if it's a girl,
Yeah.
you put some makeup on and all that
Makeup, we
stuff.
do the hair, makeup,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
and-
Yeah, you
like,
prepare
Yeah, we
which-
do it
which-
all.
arrangement. I see.
So no one has ever said like anything. Not ever said anything. That's not the word I was looking for. The word I was looking for is no one has ever like opened their eyes mid eyelash treatment or anything like that, right? Because that shit
mean-
would be like
No, nothing. Like I've had like someone's hands like just fall because of gravity, like
Oh,
wherever
because of
it's
gravity.
positioned. Yeah, and it might like hit me.
if that
And
happens to me.
I've been like, why did he just slap my ass? Like, why did that happen? But then I'm like, oh.
My guy's a
Go.
sexual
There's-
offender in
Yeah,
life
yeah,
and death.
I mean,
Yeesh.
if the opportunities, no.
The dad.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. If it was living,
One last hurrah, like no.
well,
All right.
listen, this is creepy because I have a scary story to do with cadavers. So one of my
Okay,
friends
let's
used to
hear
be
it.
in Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
Yeah.
They were doing a cadaver, like it was an anatomy lesson basically, and his professor was his hands was in the brain of the cadaver, and he was
Yeah.
playing around, and the cadaver opens his eyes and looks at my friend.
No,
and
no.
shits his pants. And he's like the professor is so good at what he does. He can make the cadaver do anything. So he can make the cadaver do this if you're touching its head. He can make it do a lot of stuff because in the end it's like all muscle and nerves, right? It's like
Yeah.
touching the right wires.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so,
like he's pulling the tendons or something.
yeah, like either the tendons or I think it was the nerves. I'm not too sure. He told me this.
And
like
you
a
do it by
while
pressing
back.
buttons on the brain? Like
Not buttons. Is you're not made of a machine. It's more like either touching a nerve of some
I had
sort. in
no
a
idea
specific-
you could do that with the brain.
I mean, have you never seen in movies where like I don't know if you've watched Lord of the Rings, but
what are
like,
they doing with
yeah.
the rings?
Yeah, I
Uh,
haven't seen the cadaver part.
no, but I'm pretty sure you've seen when Gimli's axe is stuck in an orc's head and he moves it and the orc like moves.
Oh, so that,
Yeah, right.
so
right.
it's the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
That's actually the
That's
thing that
fair.
happens.
Yeah.
Like if I were to come up to you, Ali, and I'd like shove an axe on your head and I move it, I'll make you move while you're dead. It's like
I see. Well, I
Literally
mean, so
can
can you
happen.
maybe tell us, does that ever happen with you? Like when you're working with dead bodies, do they move?
Well, I mean, yeah, you can move like open someone's hands like by pulling tendons if you've got access to the tendons.
Yep.
But I don't usually have access to the brain or the cranial cavity unless they've had an autopsy and then the brain's been removed anyway. So
So
that usually
I see.
doesn't happen.
so people,
I
it's
hope
people's
not.
families usually who decide what happens to the body, right?
Yeah.
So-
And then there's like legalities. So if you want
Legalities.
to, so if you want your loved one to be repatriated overseas, they legally have to be fully embalmed. So that's not
Oh.
a choice that you have. It has to happen.
I see.
Otherwise, they'll get to the country, they'll open the coffin, and they'll be like far along the decomposition process.
Oh,
Which
wow.
is
Yeah.
unpleasant.
So how long does it take for a body to decompose?
Oh, it just depends on everything. It depends on like what medications have been on, the environment they're in, just how much fat they have, like everything.
If you're
But on
fat-
average,
how
like,
if you're
long's
fatter,
a piece?
you take longer
yeah.
to decompose.
No, I think they're like faster. Well, both.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, on
Oops.
average, like I don't know. It depends. Like we, the bodies that we look after, they're refrigerated, so it takes a while. But if you die at home and you're in your lounge room on your couch, within a week you may turn to sludge. Yeah.
I see. All
well,
right.
so what's some of the scariest shit you've seen in the morgue? Let's get into it.
I've had a couple of hauntings. I'm very skeptical though.
You're skeptical,
So
but
I
had
don't
them.
I don't necessarily like I believe that we have souls. I don't know what happens when we die. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I have had a few things happen to me, which I can share with you if
Please.
you like.
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So when I was training, I was doing embalming and funeral directing. So a lot of the funeral arrangements that I was doing, I was looking after the bodies for that arrangement as well. So I was doing from start to finish. And I was doing a funeral arrangement for a young guy who had passed away. And I met with his family, arranged for his burial. Then I went and looked after his body. So once I finished embalming him, I left the mortuary and I heard my phone go off, and it was my Tinder notification.
Oh my, that's spooky.
Yeah, this is modern day
I mean,
haunting.
Modern day
So
haunting.
I was like,
haunting.
yay, I have a new match. How fantastic.
How
Like on
about
hot
me?
stuff, la la la. And I opened it, and the profile that just matched with me was the guy that I had just looked after in the
You're
mortuary.
fucking kidding.
I'm not fucking joking.
No.
I freaked out so much. So I had just done an arrangement with his family. So I knew everything about him. I knew his age, where he lived, like his job, like whatever. And I had just looked after his body. So I knew what every part of his body looked like. And I was just like, what the fuck? My hands started shaking. I was like, I'm deleting this. I was single for a good year after that. Like, I was not back on dating apps for a while.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is terrible.
Yes. So that happened. And then obviously I had to follow through with his funeral. And his funeral was going to be in a couple of days. And during the time between when I looked after his body to his funeral date, things kept happening in my house. Like lights would turn on and off. The gas stove kept turning on and off.
Yikes.
And I had a friend that came over one night, and the gas stove turned on and filled the house with gas, like just by itself. And he's like, oh, you must have bumped it, because we had a couple of drinks. So I was like, diddly-dee around the house. I was like, no, I didn't bump it. And he's like, you must have. I'm like, no. And then it happened like a few times over a couple of days. And then another friend came over, and she was in the kitchen, and she started screaming because she was watching every knob of my gas stove turn on by themselves. And I ran in, I was like, fuck, I told you, like something's haunting my house. So I had to have like my house cleansed.
Cleansed.
And then like someone came around with a sage stick and started like eye rolling and tongues going everywhere and stuff.
Do you honestly believe in that stuff though?
No,
Like,
but I
let's-
didn't
let's
know
be-
what to do. I didn't want to die in my sleep from breathing in
Yeah, you
gas.
do.
Like, what am I meant to do?
I mean, that's
Like
fair.
a-
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, who's meant
That's
to
fair.
help me here?
I mean,
Yeah, and then the next day was his funeral, and I was driving the hearse to the cemetery, and the hearse kept breaking down. Like, it broke down like 4 times, so we had to like swap hearses, like somehow, like on the highway without it looking dodgy. And we eventually swapped hearses, and then we buried him, and nothing happened again since. So it's
so
just like
ever
a
since you
series
buried
of-
him, it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
with
buried
that
him.
specific. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
All right.
oof.
But I've had like, there's always like
Okay.
lights going on and off, and
There's always lights going on and off. There's
yeah,
always spooky
like
stuff.
weird
Working with dead
things,
bodies.
voices and stuff.
Sophia, why do you do this? What got you started working on it?
I do. So I was actually brought up like very religious. I was brought up as a strict Muslim, and my like upbringing was always like, oh, when you die, this happens, and everything you do here is for when you die in the afterlife, and la 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 la. And I was like, yeah, fuck. Wouldn't it be nice to look after people when they die? And it's meant to be like really special to do that. So when I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to look after dead people and wash them. And then when I was like around 13, I saw someone die tragically, and it was visually very like traumatic. And all I could think was like, fuck, how are the family ever going to see him again? Like, what's going to happen to him now? And then that's when I started learning about like embalming and like preservations and reconstructions and whatnot. So yeah, so it's
Wow.
just always what I wanted to do.
So
Yeah.
wait, so
So
a body that gets torn apart, for example, right? How do you reconstruct that?
So
Someone got eaten
there's
by,
no, like,
by a
writer-
chainsaw.
Yeah.
Chopped up.
I mean, it happens. It happens.
It happens. Okay.
Yeah. You just like, there's no like right or wrong way with what you do. You've just got to work with what you have and try and rebuild like the hands and face to closest to what that person looks like. You can use different materials and instruments and whatnot, but
I
you
mean,
just do your best.
the guy's dead, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it matters to the family.
Yeah,
That's,
true,
you know.
but it's not like,
People need to say goodbye. They need closure. They
yeah,
need
but
that
it's like if
comfort,
the guy is
you
missing
know.
a finger, no one's really gonna notice. All you gotta do is just shove his hands in his pocket, and you're good to
Oh
go.
yeah. It's mainly like, you know, facial
Put a hot dog
features and
in
whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Just put a,
yeah.
but damn,
Like a
Yes.
Ronald McDonald hands like glove on. Yeah.
but whoa, like it's just crazy to think that. So you deal with dead bodies on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yeah.
How would you? I know this is a deep and personal question, but how would you like to go out?
How would I like to die, or how would I
Or-
like to be looked after?
How would you like? Let's do both. How about that?
Oh God, I don't know how I want to die. Like doing something heroic, so I'm a hero, maybe.
Fair.
Like-
And how would you like to look
Yeah.
after?
Yeah.
Yes, wrestling alligators. Yeah.
Yeah. So some kind of like wrestling move or something. I don't know.
It's, but yeah, how would you like to be? Yeah,
You're
like
wrestling
after,
alligators doing something heroic, right?
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
you get your head chopped off by an alligator.
Yeah.
Then
Oh.
what would you like to
God.
happen to your?
Chopped off by an alligator? Was it like holding a knife? Anyway, I want to be. I would like to be buried. Like because of my Islamic upbringing, I really like the idea of like the family washing me and burying me. So, yeah.
so
I
that's
mean, very basic, very basic. If it was
Pretty
like
cool.
legal to have sky burials or like a Viking burial,
ooh,
then
that's how I would love
Yeah.
to do.
Those are illegal.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
not legal here in Australia. You can't just like send a body off to sea.
You can't. Do
I mean,
that.
if they can preserve me for a good like 24 hours while they get me to like I don't know Sweden or wherever.
Oh
it's
yeah,
still
we can
legal.
definitely repatriate you, and then
Dude,
they can
let's
deal
do
with
it.
you.
Like,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ellie, I want you to
how
be
would
in
you
the
like
very
to die?
front.
How would you like
Me?
to die?
How would I like to die?
Mhm.
What did Tyrion Lannister say? No, just kidding. No, it's not like that. It's more of a I don't know, just old age,
Old age.
surrounded by people I love.
Aw. Oh.
You know,
Oh.
You should try to do it
Listen.
on the podcast sometime.
die on the podcast. Listen, by the time I'm next, like close to my deathbed, this won't even be a thing anymore of me. Like
Dude.
I'm busy with my little shits that are running around the house, right? It's not gonna be how it is. But yeah, that's how I imagine. Either that or I'm in the front lines of some kind of war.
Oh my god.
Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run, boys, run!
You
Okay,
and I
and then
both.
after you die, what do you want to happen to your body? You're
You're
gonna donate it all to science.
I mean, I was thinking about that. I was thinking of giving my body away as a cadaver for people to study, but let's be honest, it's not really gonna happen. I know my parents, so the worst way to
Your
go.
parents will probably
is-
be sorry.
Yeah, I know. Probably
by the time
then.
it's your turn.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my family probably won't allow me to be cut up in some sort of
No.
lab somewhere. Yeah, so
No, you couldn't be an organ donor then, could you?
I mean, I'd be an organ donor, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I want them to put me on a Viking rowboat, push me off into the river. I want my eldest son to grab an arrow, stick it in fire,
and shoot it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
What a way to go.
and burn me,
Mhm.
and then let
I
me
really,
go ahead.
sorry, keep going. I really
No,
like
you-
the sky burials. Have you
Ooh.
have you read about those?
What are those? No.
No,
I think it's something to do with Buddhist monks. I'm not sure. Don't maybe look
Cool.
into that. But they basically
you can say whatever
like,
you want. No one quotes
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah. Yeah,
Fact
right,
check.
good. We're not even listening.
I'm still
they-
okay. Ouch.
they base
Hey, comment below if she's
No, I meant,
mistaken
like,
with
you
the
guys
facts.
don't
Comment
listen.
below, fact check us. All right, sounds
No one's
good.
listening to
No,
who
no.
you.
I
No,
meant-
this is fun.
no,
No,
I'm joking,
I
I'm
mean
joking, I'm
death.
joking.
Listen, here's the thing about death, right? Death is like the only thing that's promised to every human being the day they
Very
were
true.
born, right?
Yeah.
Like where we will, all souls shall taste death. Or
Yeah.
if you all play World of Warcraft and you're watching this now, in the end, death claims us all. Sylvanas, right?
We're all equal
So-
in death.
We're all. That's the only thing that's
We're all
common
equal in death,
between
that is
me,
true.
a king, a poor beggar, a doctor, a scientist. We're all gonna die in the end.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Like,
Mhm.
So
And you're all treated the same. Like once you're on the table, that's it. You're a body
Yeah.
on the table.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like, let's be honest. Everyone would rather be like on your table than some old man who probably hates his life. I described to you what my
I know.
idea of a mortician is.
Yeah.
Right? It's like an old guy end life crisis, not even midlife. It's just
Yeah.
super depressed and alone. But like looking at you, like I was wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
I was
No,
wrong,
I
boys.
know. There's
Yeah.
lots of like young females that are like coming into being embalmers. I think it used to be like an old man thing, and it's like if you've got the stomach to do it, that's your job. But it's
Fair.
changed a lot.
I think it was like if you have the stomach to do it, or if you
it-
have no other job options. in
Yeah,
science.
great. Thanks.
Listen, no.
I had
offense.
other options.
You
Okay.
I know you. Listen, look at you. Of course, you had other options, right?
You
But like,
studied?
kudos to you.
Studied
You
it.
chose this, and
You studied it at a school,
Yeah.
like a mortician school.
yeah,
I did, yeah. It's a bit different in the US. You actually have like embalming colleges, whereas here it's more of an apprenticeship. You have to have a mentor and basically be doing the job to do the study. But yeah, I
Oh,
studied.
so you
it.
had a mentor that taught you.
Yeah.
You know. And Frank,
interesting.
can you tell us a little bit about that mentor?
Before we
My
do, we kind of
mentor?
diverted of the first
Sure.
topic, which was
Which
the
is what?
monks that they.
Oh, the sky burial.
Oh, the
sorry.
sky
Yeah.
burials. True.
Brilliant.
Get back to that. Yes, true.
Yeah, so basically they kind of like cut up the bodies, put them out on a field where there's like cliff edges, and these vultures come and they feed on the body. And then what's left is like bones, and then they crush and pulverize the bones, and then that's it. It's like amazing.
You feed yourself.
Amazingly not
To the
gonna happen to me,
vultures.
thank God. I ain't having no bird trying to rip me up and shit.
Yes.
No,
You're dead.
Really? I kind of like the idea of being food.
I'd rather be burned.
Like I want to be buried so I can decompose in the ground and kind of turn to compost. So
Circle
if I
life.
can be like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I
I
mean,
feel like it's a bit the
that
same.
could be nice. It's like a little circle of life kind of shit, right? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But like, have you heard of the space burial, where they cremate you, put you in a
Oh.
jar, and they send you off
To the
in
moon.
space? Yeah.
No,
Like
I've heard of the fireworks. Like you can be cremated and your ashes
put
are put
into
into fireworks. Yeah, things
well,
like
it's pretty
that.
cool. I mean, if I could, like, if I wasn't gonna go the way I was, I would actually like have astronauts like rugby throw my ass like into space. Like that would be the coolest shit ever. Like
It's
just,
so lonely up there.
I mean, so is death. I mean, when we die alone, right?
Ah,
We came in this world alone, unless you're a twin, and we die in this world alone. Like it's
yeah.
pretty
Unless
much
you're in a
how it
car
is.
accident.
Why do you have to find these little shit that like just accept it? I'm trying to sound like a wise guy.
No,
and you're just-
no, no.
I mean,
It's
like,
true. That was a morbid joke.
I
Sorry.
mean, that was a good joke, though.
I
Come on,
mean,
man.
yeah.
Sophia, let's go back to. I want to hear about your mentor.
Mentor. Yeah, let's do that.
Mhm.
My mentor,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. She's been in Burma for 20 odd years. She's a female, obviously, an attractive female. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about her.
I see.
She's just
All right.
like,
Is
she
this a
taught
thing
me
for
everything.
attractive female now?
Should I get
I'm
in the
kinda
embalming
lost.
business?
Should I?
She used to be a hairdresser and she became an
Okay.
embalmer because her father passed away and they had a viewing and her father was crying and she's like, why is he crying? And she went to investigate and she realized like his eyes were leaking and she's like, huh, that's interesting. So she was just fascinated about like the changes that happen with the body, and then that's how she became an embalmer. So she worked at the coroner's and did like was an autopsy technician, and then became an embalmer. And yeah, she's incredible.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but like, she taught you. So, what was it like learning? Like okay. Here's a good question. Walk me through your first time seeing a
Your
dead
first time
body,
seeing a dead body,
right? Like
working
in
on
a morgue.
In a morgue,
What was going through your?
I had seen dead bodies before because I worked in a nursing home. So I had been with a couple of people when they passed away. So I wasn't like too worked up or nervous about it. But I was like so eager to impress her that I was scared that it would bother me. So I talked myself into being scared, even though I wasn't. But so the first body I saw with her was a guy who I think he passed away in a motorcycle accident. And he was like in his 30s and she just basically showed me him and showed me what she does. And I was like, yeah, cool. All right, let's do this. So when I was employed to work in the office at the funeral home that I worked at. So for 2 years, I was secretly coming in like at 3 a.m. to train to be an embalmer, and my managers didn't know. So she secretly taught me embalming, and then they found out, and then I qualified after that. They put me through training. So it's really difficult to get into here in Australia.
I mean,
yeah.
You were nursing home by day, and by night you're literally taking them out the nursing home and getting them ready to. That's another.
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
You work at night? Is when you work, or is it during the day?
No. So I was working in the office at the funeral home. So I was doing like coordination and funeral directing. But she started working in the mortuary at the same funeral home at like 3 a.m. So I'd just start my shift like 3 hours early to do training in the mortuary before everyone came into work.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I started. I had to kind of like sneak my way in because it was just really difficult.
And then, Sophia, how do people react to other people dying, like their close family ones dying? Is it usually like they're all sad about it, or are they at peace about it, or
it's a
some people
of
happy
both.
their loved ones are dying? I don't know.
Yeah, I've had people be happy. I've had people being like, oh, it's about time, or like, you know.
The fuck is wrong with people?
I mean, there's a lot of bad people in this world. You don't know what families have been through.
Fair.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like you can't, it's one thing you learn very quickly, you cannot judge at all. Like you can't judge.
True, that's very true.
But yeah, it's a mixture of both emotions. Usually people are still in a state of shock. So they're pretty like a little bit like vacant, but they're just there to get the job done. They're like, okay, let's do this. And then once the funeral happens, they usually let the emotions out.
And you're there in the funeral?
I used to be. I'm just in the mortuary now, but I used to do funeral directing as well.
Why'd you stop, if you don't mind me asking?
I was just doing funeral directing while I was training in the mortuary. It's not really I'm more of a mortuary behind closed doors type thing. My passion's there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
cool. So funerals, there are different kinds of funerals. I've like something I'm interested in. Some people celebrate when people die, like as a passing to the next journey, and some
Yeah.
people are very upset and they like cry, and it's a very heavy grieving. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can tell us more on how do you
Yeah,
see death and how have like
I
reacted.
think a lot of people face it like more as like celebrating their life.
Hmm.
I find that that's more, unless you're religious, then it's more like the funeral is just at a church and it's or at a mosque or whatever your religion is, and then you have to follow whatever that is, like the prayers and this, that, and the other. But generally, people want to celebrate the person's life, and then it's following the funeral that the grieving really sets in, and it's more of a sad.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
here's a fun fact. Your work has been going on for like thousands of years. Like we can like it goes all the way back to. I mean, people dealt with the dead
Yeah,
throughout the history of
Yeah, as
mankind,
long as
right?
you've had life, you've had
But
that.
yeah,
Yeah, death.
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
what I'm talking about is actually preparing the dead, like
Mhm.
mummifying ancient Egypt, right? You had people who
Yeah,
were that's all they did.
yeah.
So the history is actually really cool. Is when you see how they used to like pull out the organ from the
I
nose,
know.
like
I don't know why that's necessary.
they jar their organs, like
I mean, it's so
no,
much easier.
yeah, I mean, like you could just go like move them and then stitch that shit up, but no, they decided to do it like full on
Yeah,
hardcore type anatomy. So
yeah,
they
they
go
did.
whoop and they pull it out the nose and mouth, and it's. I mean, talk about turning you inside out, but like
Mhm.
not like that. Am
I
I
mean,
right?
that's basically what an
Yeah,
autopsy is now. But
it
they
is.
just,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
So
I like just talking to you. I feel like your understanding of death is completely different than the average like person. Because to them, it's like, no, they're gonna go, never gonna see them again. And to you,
yeah.
it's more like it's the nature of life, you know. And you
It
time to,
is. It definitely is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie, what's your understanding of death?
oh
How do you
my.
think you would?
How do I
Let's
think I
get
would what? Yeah, what
philosophical.
is what is I don't know what is death? I mean, um I really
Stop
have
breathing.
you stop
Stop eating.
breathing,
You
you
stop.
have a soul. I don't know. Does your soul leave? You turn into a ghost, or maybe that's it, just the end of it.
Do you believe in any kind of afterlife?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I do, but also I don't know. It's IDK really. I really don't know.
Yeah.
There was a point in my life where I thought, "Is that's it? Everything goes black." But then, if we look at like from a physics point of view, like energy is neither created nor
Yeah.
destroyed; it just
Keeps going.
Hmm.
keeps going, right?
Yeah.
So, what are human beings but energy in a
Yeah.
containment? So, I do believe in a life after death. And ever since I became a bit more religious, I started believing in the actual, like what Islam says about it. But I don't know. It's weird for me to think of a life after death. Leaving this world behind and going
Hmm.
into. So when people say like, I'm not convinced when someone says nothing happens when we're dead. We just, everything is black. I think it's just a fear of not knowing, so they decided to go for the easiest route
Yeah, it's true.
of
Hmm.
just saying,
Hmm.
just blackness, like
It's true.
darkness, just like this right here.
I mean,
Just like
that
this.
would be
Yeah.
such a shame if
Hmm.
that is what it is.
I know, right? What a
Hmm.
It
like I could
doesn't
have
make any sense. I just,
dude.
it
Yeah,
can't
I
be.
know.
It
It
just
does,
can't be.
yeah,
Have
it
you
can't
have you
be.
seen like any evidence of like a soul or anything like
I
that?
mean, like you feel when you walk into a room and you can just feel energy, like whether it's negative, like you walk into a room that's full of like sunlight, but it feels dark. Like there's
Mm,
that kind of thing, and it changes like with whoever's in your mortuary
Oh, I
at
see.
the time.
Hmm.
So like I do believe in energy, obviously. Um, no one's like come back to me and been like, hey, can you let everyone know that there is a heaven or a hell or whatever? But like things happen, and it has to, like the whole like lights turning on and off, and doors opening and closing, and like I know other embalmers that believe that they've seen ghosts and whatnot. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I think there's definitely energy, and it doesn't just stop there. Like it moves somewhere. Yeah.
That's fair.
The next,
But wouldn't that be cool if I could come back and be like, yo, by the way, you missed a spot, and you would be like, oh, thanks.
I know.
No?
Yeah.
Because that would be
Hasn't
pretty cool. If I
happened.
was a mortician, now I would like that. Just be like, yo, my guy, how'd you like to be buried? You know? And
Yeah, there was a time that this was another like little bit of a haunting story, but I had prepared someone in the mortuary, and then I took his coffin into the chapel to set it up for the viewing for the family later that morning. And like I stepped back, looked at the coffin. I was like, "Yeah, looks great. He looks great. Everything's beautiful." And this was at like 6 a.m, so there was no one else there. And then the music, like the PA system, started playing Elvis Presley by itself. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So when the family came in, I played the music that had turned on by itself. And after the viewing, the family came out and they were like, "How did you know his favorite artist was Elvis Presley?" And like they were like crying because it was so beautiful. And I'm like, why did that happen? Like, why did that happen? Like, there must be something.
I don't know. I
You
mean,
know, there must be
pretty
something.
good. Dude, you can't say you
Like,
don't
the
believe in
stereo-
ghosts
Yeah,
and
but
you
it
not
can't-
all this
I
shit
don't-
happened to you.
But like, you know, I was brought up as a Muslim, and Islamically, you don't turn to a ghost. So
Yeah,
that's
fair,
still
but
kind
there
of
are
embedded.
ghosts. They're
There's,
just
like,
not what we
jinns.
understand. Yeah, jinns.
Yeah,
They're
but why would
basically-
they play Elvis Presley for this guy? Like,
I
how do
don't
they
know,
know?
just to fucking creep you out, maybe. I don't know. Like,
Do
it's
they
just-
talk? Like, what happens? I don't know.
What do
It's
you mean?
just
What
weird.
happened?
Like, how would they know to? I don't know.
what to
I
do?
just
Yeah,
don't know.
how? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I want to believe in ghosts, but then you're like, oh, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. I
Okay.
don't know.
With some
Yeah.
more pseudoscience, can you like freeze your body after death so that you can resuscitate in the future? I don't know if you know about.
You're talking about cryogenically freezing. That's in my
Cryogenically,
department
yeah.
since it's still considered
Yeah.
life, right?
So Ali, tell me.
I just realized we're the polar opposites. Like you deal with death, and I deal with you deal with preserving death. I
Yeah.
deal with preserving life. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
That's, you know what? We're here.
We
high
can
five.
work
I'm right
together.
above you. I'm right above you. You just high five
There
on
you
your
go.
right. I mean, fair. There we go. Fair.
There you
I'll
go.
take it from you. But okay, so there's this little microorganism, right? And it's like it looks like a bear, kind of. I'll try and find a picture now. But they cryogenically froze it with liquid nitrogen for a bit, and they brought it back after 2 to 3 days. Like
Oh,
everything on that
what?
thing was stopped.
Ah!
Cryogenic freezing is not that like far off in the future. So here, let me find it. Cryogenic.
So it's an actual thing. It does work.
I mean, it does freezing.
I thought that was just on like Futurama. I didn't think it was a real thing.
Futurama of bare microorganisms.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's wild.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's here we go. This is what it looks like, right? So this is the thing. This is the little shit right here, right? And
Oh, that is hideous.
not all. This is like a dangerous parasite.
Yeah, right.
So they
looking
cryogenically
at?
froze it.
Yeah. Do you
This is
wanna
a
full
little
screen it?
microorganism.
Let's see it.
So here we go. It's
Oh,
a water
wow.
bear, right?
A what? A water bear.
It's called a water bear. They're very small, very
Okay.
small,
Mhm.
right? They cryogenically froze it for I think it was either a couple of days
It
or a
says
couple
30
of
years
years.
here.
Oh,
this thing.
back after 30 years, right? So that's a long time. 30 years, and they brought it back fully functioning, right? So cryogenic freezing is like it's interesting because if you had the option to do it, would you?
No.
There you go. That's
No,
it. right
your
there.
time's now, you know.
But wouldn't it be cool just to see what life is like in the next thousands?
mean-
of,
Yeah.
Maybe. I can't
I
even
don't know.
work out life now, let alone
That
in
is
a
true. Let
thousand
alone in the
years.
future.
Like,
Here's
Let's just do what we're doing now and just
Yeah, we'll just see where it goes from here, huh?
yeah. I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Ellie, would you do it? Would you cryogenically
I
freeze
mean,
yourself?
since we're talking about the future of death, something I'm maybe more likely to do is like upload my data onto like a computer software and then stay alive through there. What's it called? Transference or
I don't know. You just moved out of my like boundaries of knowledge. Like this
that's
is
like
all
yeah,
you know.
yeah, this is
can
like
you do that? So you don't like put everything onto a hard drive?
I mean, that's like in the future of like
It's
I mean,
impossible though if
we're
you
going
think about
Oh
it.
right.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Because if you
there's so
think
much I don't know.
It's
no,
like
it's like this. Let me tell you this.
fair.
You forget at least 3 things a day, right?
Fair.
Mm.
So if it's not gonna be as complete as you would hope for it to be.
I mean, we're talking about the future of technology.
this
Like,
is
so you
my
have like
theory.
right now, like smartphones and stuff. In the future, you'll have something like Neuralink, right? That
Mm.
basically simulates your whole brain for you, that knows it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then all you do is take that input data. I don't know too much
No, but
about
what's
it. Store it in
the
a
point though? Let's
What
be
is
honest.
the point? Yeah,
Where
yeah,
is
yeah.
Like you are dead. No one gonna want to like
Skynet.
talk to a robot of
Yeah.
you. You know, like it's just like it's not the same. It feels a little bit off.
Mhm.
Like
I mean,
it's
yeah,
weird.
because
It's-
you, in 1,000 years, you're not going to be relevant. Like, why do,
Yeah, exactly.
mean,
Well, people are
maybe
trying to
like
stay
a
relevant.
president or a king or someone, they're like,
Wait,
okay, let's like lock into their minds. But
Fair, yeah. Like someone that's
Yeah.
impacted history,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say,
yeah.
you know what? Yeah, that would be great for students to study, learn how they think, maybe
yeah,
psychology. and
big
shit,
part
but
of
like,
history.
unless we break history some way somehow.
I mean, this podcast is going to kick off and
Yeah.
it's going to be, yeah.
I mean, for such a gloomy topic, thank you for giving us hope. Right?
That's okay. That's okay.
This is great. I love it. I
Oh,
love
wow.
it so much. Yeah, but that's what I think about it. Is just I don't think it's possible to remember everything you forgot and then like put it up in a computer. It doesn't make
You
sense. to
can,
me.
I mean, you can access future, like in the future. I mean, like now you can access past memories, right? Through
This
photos
is
and
Assassin's
videos
Creed.
of your
I mean,
phone.
okay, fine, like
Sure.
that, sure.
Okay,
fine.
and take that to the next level where you're like in Neuralink, where you can literally simulate memories because you can record memories real time. Right? So like, and then you replay them in your head. And so when you're on a computer, you can be a whatever. This is the
You've lost
AI,
me.
right.
Her face,
Okay,
she's definitely
we're
like
human.
lost too.
We're human, and there's
I just don't
technology,
see the points in
and there's a
it.
symbiosis.
Neither do I.
It's just what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. People won't live
It's not
forever.
what's
But
gonna happen.
why?
People
Why?
want to live
There's
forever.
there's
People
like,
have been looking to live forever since forever. Everyone wants to live. Bill Gates wants to live to 2,000 years old.
Bill Gates can.
I mean, Bill Gates can do that.
I was going the other route, but sure, Bill Gates can.
Yeah.
It's, thanks for the save.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, like, I don't see the point in it. I'd rather just die,
No,
be
I don't.
forgotten. If I want people to remember me, I don't want them to remember me based on the bad that I did. I want them to look back at me and be like, you know what, that was a guy who did some good ass shit, right?
So what's the average age of death? What?
Now,
Yeah.
it depends on the region. Like in Arabia, it's between 60 to 70. In Europe, it's anywhere from 80 to 90.
What's the
wow.
US?
I bet
US is
70s.
like,
Something like
70s
yeah,
to
78.
80s.
Yeah, right. And it's
Well, the
different
thing-
for males and females.
Obviously, males are more likely to die earlier than
Yeah.
females,
Yeah,
pretty
nice.
much. So, yeah.
God is
Good.
sexist.
Talk about
He
male
gets the guys
privilege, am I
out. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Talk about male privilege. Like, I got to
Yeah,
die
yeah,
for
exactly. Yeah.
In Australia, what's it like?
it. I don't know what it is.
I think it's fairly similar, I'm
Mhm.
sure.
like 80, 60, 60, 70.
Probably 70s.
Yeah, but
70s.
that's increased a lot since 100 years ago and
Mm.
before that, right?
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I mean,
yeah.
hundreds of
we
years ago,
don't-
like by the time they're 11, they're married and have a kid, right?
Exactly.
Like, and they die when they're 30. But thanks to the miracle of medicine, basically we doubled.
The curse
we?
of my medicine.
What am I saying? We.
The curse
We
of
doubled
medicine.
life. I'm studying to double life.
Mhm.
Do you
I
think
don't
do you think it goes too far though? So like I worked in nursing homes and a lot of the people there, they're just pumped with medications and they're just
Just to
sitting
stay
there
alive?
all day. Yeah. I mean, if all those medications didn't exist, they'll be dead. Like, is it necessary to keep people alive for so long once their quality of life is gone, you know?
Then they shouldn't be alive to suffer through a shitty quality, and it's
Mhm.
not their
Yeah,
fault.
but
The time's
no.
fault. I understand your thought
I
process.
understand it. Mhm.
I wouldn't say I agree with it though, because it's like,
Mm.
look, not every person who studies what I study is the same, but for me, like the point of what I study is to not just prolong life, but to improve its quality,
Yeah,
right? So if I feel like this person's quality is not getting any better than this shitty situation, people are gonna come after me for saying this, but I don't think, like, I think nature should just take its course. Not gonna lie,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
nature should take its course, and
yeah.
khalas, it's just
Mhm.
done, finito,
Mm.
right?
That's nature taking
But
its course. But
I
then it
mean,
comes
Yeah.
to
yeah,
like, yeah, someone's on like the death cord, she pulled the plug, she not, or someone's
dude,
maybe
this
like
is this is
depressed
huge
and
in
wants to
medical
die.
ethics.
So let's say like there's like an old 80-year-old guy and he's depressed, all his family's gone, and he just wants
Let
to
him
die.
go. Just let him go. You know.
What do you think, Ali?
No, I don't think I should kill him or euthanize him,
Mm-hmm.
but I think just leave him be. When his time comes, his time comes, right? Because
Is
who
that
knows?
yeah?
Even 80-year-olds may find love, right? Maybe me, like a little Janice, who's a beautiful 75, right? Year old woman, and who knows? He
Who
could
knows?
like
That's
fall in love.
mm-hmm.
Because true, no offsprings, but then again, who really wants
It's
little shits running around the house, right? But you know,
it's
that's what I
there are
think.
places where it's illegal, but there are places also where it's legal,
Like
like
euthanization,
To
yeah, in
euthanization.
Arabia,
euthanize.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in
Yeah, I
Arabia,
think
it's
it's just
completely.
become legal here.
Oh wow!
I mean, I'm not saying to. I mean, I'm
Have
not
you ever killed
saying.
someone?
No, I haven't. I've been with people when they've passed away. They've gone palliative, and I've never. Of course, I'm not going to admit to killing someone on the podcast.
On
I
a
don't know.
podcast, what's
Gotcha.
wrong with you?
It
It was a test. You passed.
Yeah.
It was a test. You passed. Good shit.
You
Yeah,
knock.
but you were saying,
Not
you narc.
uh, no, like all I'm saying is like if there's this 80-year-old man
Mhm.
and he's depressed and wants to die or whatever, like he's 80 and old. Don't pump him with medication to keep him going. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
just
That's
stop.
how I
Let it.
feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's nature taking its course because we're
Pretty much.
defying nature by pumping people with all this medication.
True.
Alright.
And we're overpopulated, so come on.
Are we overpopulated?
I don't know.
Technically speaking,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
but
That true?
like
Can the
ethically
Earth
speaking,
handle
People
more?
keep telling me. Hey?
Wow. The Earth can't
Yeah.
handle more people? What do you mean?
it's not that it can't handle anymore. It's just that 13% of the surface of the Earth is habitable by human beings. 13. Put that number in your head, like 13%.
Sure, a
is
lot of it is
habitable.
vacant. Yeah, the ocean.
And like
Yeah.
about, I think it's, don't quote me on the number, but
Mhm.
we've reached 11%. There's like the 2% left, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like,
Yeah, we're almost there, but I don't think we're past it yet. Yeah.
yeah.
The point
Well,
of yeah.
boys and
Spooky
girls,
stuff. Spooky stuff.
like this is some.
Ali, are you
spooky
afraid
ass
of
shit,
death?
right? No, I'm not.
I'm not. Not at all.
No.
You don't.
Not at all.
What's the point of being afraid of something that's bound to happen? Just accept your reality of one day.
I mean, yeah.
like you can't argue with me. I'm the master of arguing right here. I'm saying, like I'm good at this shit right now. I'm joking. Obviously, don't take offense to that. But honestly, why should I fear something that's like it's bound to happen? Why am I supposed to be afraid of it? I'm just accepting it with open arms. Jesus, take the wheel,
Yeah.
Jesus take the wheel. That is true.
or my soul.
That's very brave of you.
How about
See,
you, Ali?
I think I say I'm not scared of death, but then if there's like a bus coming my way, I'm in the middle of the street, I'll be like,
Yeah, but that's
ah,
gonna
get out the
hurt.
way.
That's gonna
That's gonna
hurt.
a
You
lot.
fear the pain that you're going through. You're
I
not
think
fearing.
Yeah, I
pain.
mean,
Yeah, I
that's
think
hurt.
I'm more scared of pain than maybe death.
I think a lot of people would be.
What
I'm
about
scared
you?
of
Do you
death
fear
for
death?
my family. That's like mostly like for me. Like I don't want to die because I know it'll upset my family a lot if I'm dead.
It's yeah,
Mhm.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Seeing
what if your
people go
family hates
through.
you? What then?
Then it'll
Like,
be
what do you
good. Then I
do?
should probably I
Hit the
won't say
road,
it.
Jack.
Hit the road, Jack.
No
And
back,
don't come
no
back no
more.
more, no more.
What about wait?
That's
So Sophia, what about you? Do you fear death?
I go through like different stages of being like, oh no, I'm not scared, and then I'm like, oh, I'm terrified.
Mhm.
I don't think so. It's just the unknown, you know. I just
Okay,
hate to
understand that.
die and find out that there's nothing. I
Pretty
know.
much. Yeah, that would suck. Like I could have done so much shit in my life, and
I
it's just
know.
like,
I know. I know.
you know. But I'm playing it safe either or. You know, I'm playing it safe.
Taking it slow.
Just saying,
I'm
God,
taking care of
Playing it safe.
myself and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
you're
Yeah.
doing all that good shit. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So
it's
we
like-
want to know, Sophia, when someone like dies, you're kind of like the last person with them.
Yeah.
Do you have like a relationship or like whatever with that body, or is it just like you like?
Yeah, like I
work?
treat them.
Yeah. Like do you?
I treat.
Mhm. Do
Sorry,
you feel
keep going.
something different? Like do you like, or is it just like you're doing your work, you're doing your job when you go in?
You're in autopilot,
Mhm.
but you still like treat everybody individually because they are individual, and what you do is different with each one of them. But yeah, you do. You feel like you know that person a bit different to how everyone else does, or you might see little things like tattoos, or you know, find out a bit about their life, and you're like, oh, and you feel a bit of a connection. I do treat them. I talk to them while I look after them. I say good morning, and when I close the coffin, I'm like, see ya, like bye. Kind of like
But they can't hear you.
bedside. How do you know?
since
How do you know?
No. In Islam, by the way, we believe that they
The
can't hear.
soul's still with the body.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
yeah,
in-
that's what I think. So
In Islam, they can hear you completely. Everything you say,
yeah,
fully
Yeah.
clearly.
Still
So
from
yeah.
fact
So
that
I
you greet them-
remember.
wow. Mhm.
Yeah, so I remember my dad telling me when I was younger, because I was quite scared of death when I was younger. I was like the thought of not seeing my parents again, or that when I die, like I won't. I think you don't recognize people. Like you might see people. I forget what he said. Anyway, I remember being really upset by it, and I spoke to him about it. And he's like, you know, when you die, the soul's still with the body, and they can hear you, and they can be scared and confused. So like, talk to them and let them know, like everything's okay. You're dead. This, that, and the other. So that's what I do all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to roll you over now. I'm just going to do your hair. I'm going to put this lipstick on. We're going to make you beautiful for your daughter to see you, like this, that, and the other. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just like basic bedside manner, you know.
Aw,
It's no different to nursing.
true.
If someone's alive and you're like, okay, I'm just going to put this shirt on you, you just tell them, you know.
fair.
And it's, yeah.
Yeah, we've actually hit our timestamp for the episode,
nice.
but like, wow,
I've learned
we
so
got
much
very.
about death.
Yeah.
And really, like I
Good.
have a perspective
I
Yeah.
hope so.
that's different.
Not only that, I've also learned a lot about like the life of a mortician, or what do you call it in Australia? It's a different word.
Embalmer. Yeah, embalmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am
Yeah.
I saying it right? Embalmer.
Obama.
Embalmer. Yeah.
Obama.
That's good. No,
Embalmer.
Obama. Embalmer. Yeah.
Embalmer.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Obama.
Thank you so much for having me,
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you for having. This was
Thank you for coming
this
on.
was fun. I should probably turn the lights up. Like this is like I can't do this. We talked about death in the dark. That's a first for me. So sorry for killing your mood if you watch this episode, but life is not certain. Death is.
Thanks. Sounds good.
Be
Keep
ready to meet your Lord.
subscribe or else you will
Die early.
What? Ali, you can't say that. I think we're
Don't
not allowed
say
to
that.
say stuff like that.
No.
Really?
Cut
Why?
that out.
Oh, I forgot. We're in an age filled with special snowflakes. God damn it. God damn it.
Subscribe, please. You know that like,
Subscribe.
a lot of you guys aren't subscribed, so maybe
Yeah, isn't there like
subscribe.
75%
yeah.
of like
75% of people watching this
videos?
aren't subscribed. So if you
What do you-
subscribe,
what do you
that
do?
number will change. So do it. Sounds good. Sophia,
good.
what will
Amazing,
happen if
Sophia.
people don't subscribe?
They'll die.
Thank you.
No.
From Obama.
No,
Right.
no.
Listen,
Support
subscribe.
the podcast.
Anything
Yeah.
else you want to
We're
shout out
making
or
it-
say?
Yeah, anything
up.
you want to shout out, let the world know?
No, just like go with it.
Just go.
Go with the flow.
Just go with life.
Go with life.
Arrange
Sounds
your
good.
funeral. Tell your family your wishes. Done.
Pretty much.
Oh, tell your
Yeah.
family your wishes for your death.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. So there's no.
Regardless of your age.
Yep. And I'm gonna do something we never do when I
Make it
sign
a lot
out.
easier.
Is basically I'm going to disappear into the background. We'll just put your voice because that was so perfect. Like we can just do that. We can just do that. Count Maven. So you're a vampire.
I'm not a count.
Still? Oh, is it like a? How do you become a count?
I have no idea. I think that's more of a European like hierarchy thing. But, I have no. It's just Maven. It's fine.
Just Maven. Maven the vampire.
Pleasure,
Cool.
Maven.
So how'd you become a vampire? Who the fuck bit you?
I don't think that's how it works. I think it's more Hollywood. There's several different schools of thought when it comes to this. There's the belief that you're born one, that you cannot be turned, you either are or you